Okay, here we are with some Path of Exiles on the PlayStation 4. This is a free-to-play action RPG game. If you played games like the Diablo series, Titan Quest, Van Helsing, I mean, there's a bunch of different ones. Torchlight. These are games that just come to my mind. This game is pretty much going to be right up your alley. So the reason I wanted to make this video is because today was a sad day for me in Path of Exiles because my character died for the first time, and I'll explain why that was such a tragic incident for me. So here we're in the main screen. If you look on the upper right, you see my one and only character, Superazn505. Go figure. It's a level 37 witch, and if you look to the right there, it says Standard League. So about maybe not even 5 minutes ago, that was actually the Hardcore League. So this is where I'm going to start off with. So when I jumped back and started playing this game's been out for a while, and I haven't played it in a long while. I decided to do something a little irregular of myself. So in this game, you have different modes. You can almost look at them like servers where you can play. So like right now, my character shows that I'm in the Standard League. So this is kind of the, the normal server, if you will, where a lot of people play, and it's good fun. Where I was playing before, literally 5 minutes ago, it was called the Hardcore League. And the difference between Standard League and Hardcore League is really simple. In Standard League, you can play when you die, you'll just res, it's just going to put you back a couple, seconds to, go to the starting point where you were. It's a minor inconvenience, but, no biggie. You just play the game, you grind enemies, you get your levels, you try to collect your armor, your skills, and try to build the most badass character you want, and you pretty much enjoy the game, in full. So the difference with Hardcore League is if you die, even just one time, doesn't matter how you die, even if it's due to lag or something, your character essentially gets deleted from that server, and then it pushes you to the Standard League. So it's very, I guess you could say, challenging. If you're looking for a challenge in these kind of games, you want to play in Hardcore pretty much, because your style is going to be influenced, because you can't just run in, try to take out all these demon minions and not really pay attention to what you're doing, because like I said, if you die just once, you will literally lose all your progression on that server, and you got to go back and play in Standard League, which is not a big deal. Standard League is still fun. Like I said, you're not missing content. Everything's the same. It's just whatever your taste is. Me personally, I was trying my best to make this in-game goal of getting to the level cap. I think it's level 70, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. On Hardcore League, and if I could have done that, I would have been really happy with myself. So unfortunately, level 37. This is my first try. That's how far I got. I thought I was doing really good, and then I pretty much got my ass kicked. So I'm gonna jump into the game, kind of describe some basic mechanics from a noob's perspective. This game's been out for a long time. There are lots of videos and information sites out there if you want to learn about the game. I'm not going to go into detail because I'm still a noob, and so I'm just going to go to the bare minimum. So here I am. Here's my character, my pets, and all that stuff. These are just cosmetics. I'm in the starting town. I think this is Act 3 where I pretty much died. So the first thing I want to go over with is the item system and kind of the currency system. So the whole point of this game, which I'll do in a little bit, is we're going to go around, we're going to spawn into a map, and we're going to kill everything we see pretty much, and when they die, they drop loot, just like most typical RPG games. You pick up the loot, you use it, you sell it, you save it for later, you do whatever you want. So here, Clarissa, she is the NPC that kind of sells you, basic items, and this is where you can sell and trade your armor. So let's go ahead and visit her. So to the left here, this is my inventory menu. And just a bunch of random stuff, but really here I'm gonna do the best I can to explain. So unlike other games, even Diablo, when you pick up a lot of loot, most of the time it's gonna be trash loot, things that you're not interested in, but you're still gonna pick up, you're gonna sell to make gold in most typical games, and then use that gold to in return buy something else that you want, a ring or amulet or a skill or what have you, depending on the game. The difference with this game, and I really like it, at first I thought it was weird, but I'm really growing into it, is there is no gold currency. They have their own specific currency in this game, and it's in the form of items. So let me go ahead and just demo here. So I have this, it's white, which tells me it's just a basic item. I don't need it. I already got better footwear, nothing impressive. I'm not at the cap, so I'm not going to go over my armor because it's just really random. But here, let's say I pick this up and I'm not going to use it. I'm going to trade it in for resources, so I'm going to sell it to her. And so you can see I'm trying to sell her this item, and in return I'm going to get this item, scroll fragment. A stack of 5 fragments will become a scroll of wisdom. So here, if you look in my inventory, I got 4 coincidentally scroll fragments. So when I press square, or X to accept the trade, this should disappear, and this should turn into 27. I just happen to have 26 scrolls of wisdoms. So again, I'm trying to show the relationship. I trade in this white item, I get 1 of these fragments, 5 of these fragments. Let's go over here. Gives me 1 of these. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm gonna press X. Alright, open my inventory, and as you can see, that it disappeared, and I got 1 extra scroll of wisdom. So simple. Now where do we go from here? So these scroll of wisdoms, especially in the beginning, in my experience in hardcore mode, I wasn't thinking about I needed to farm a lot of items, but I was always running short on scroll of wisdom. So I became a loot hoarder, just like in any other game I play, I guess. But so here's another item here. We have a Scarlet Round Shield. This is totally RNG. Something I picked up just a while ago for the purpose of this video. If you look there, you see there's all these stats. This is good for if you're, I guess, a tanky build, or if you use strength or dexterity. It says I require 37 strength, 37 dexterity. I don't have 37 strength. My build is intelligence based. So you get loot for all kinds of different classes, not just yours, which I think is cool because it adds to more RNG. But most importantly, you might be playing more than one character at a time. So this ability or this item might not work for me, but it might work for my other character. So I would stash it away for that person if you wanted to. So that's a little variety there. But below, it's going to say unidentified. So certain colored tiers of items, gold is pretty high. There's blue right before it, and there's even like an orange, which is like a legendary. So that kind of represents how strong your weapons are compared to just white. So here's a blue, here's a yellow there, and I think I have, here's a legendary item I got from doing a random dungeon. And so ideally you want to probably have all your characters decked out in this colored sets and items, but that's at the very end of the game. So anyways, you want to identify, well, depending how you play, let's say this item is something I could use. You want to identify it by pressing circle, and when you identify it, you use one of these scroll of wisdoms. So you can see the connection here. I traded those items in. I'm building my stacks of wisdom, scrolls of wisdom, so I can use them to identify my new loot. So let's go ahead and press circle, and you'll see here this will get reduced to 26. Boom. Now, if you check it out, you'll notice, man, this item has a lot more hidden stats than before, because all this blue stuff, the plus 15 to dexterity, increased attack damage, global physical damage, lightning resistance, it even reflects 6 physical damage to melee attackers, 2% chance to block projectiles. This item went from decent to, pretty badass, depending if this is gonna, suit your build. So that's a really quick, I guess, showcase of how the item system works. There's all kinds of items that do all kinds of stuff. There's items that will change a lot of these modifiers for you, whether it be the numerical portion or even the, whatever it's attached to. So if I use a specific item, I can change that first line of 15 to plus dexterity. If I use this item, I can RNG, and I can maybe get a plus 25 to health instead. And so if you like building characters, you like RPGs, this game is going to keep you busy forever, because there's so many builds you can do. This is not a cookie cutter game, in my opinion. I don't think it is. So I don't need this shield. I'm just going to go ahead and sell it. As you can see here, because I'm selling a different tier of item, I actually am getting a different item here. Orb of Augmentation, enchants a magic item with a new random modifier. That's kind of what I just talked about there. This time I need 30 of these in order to do that one time. So you can kind of see where grinding for certain items is going to be helpful for you depending on what your goals are. So let's just go ahead and get that. Alright, so that's pretty much here. Stash, because I died, I lost all my stash items, which is really sad. I thought I was going to carry over to standard, but unfortunately not. Had so many cool items here I was just waiting to use. But unfortunately, because I died, I don't get that luxury. So let's go ahead. What else do I want to talk about? Okay, let's talk about, so again, I'm a witch. It's considered a melee, I'm not sorry, kind of magicka DPS, if you want to call it that. I'm going to go to my passive tree, because On my upper left, you see there's kind of next to my health and energy bar, there's a plus sign, and it's kind of blinking with level 1, with a number 1. So I got a recent level. I never put the skill into use, but I'll do it for the purpose of demoing. What you do is you level up, and you get those points, and you come here to your passive tree. Now check this out. All these icons and all these dots represent specific stat increases, modifiers to your build. If you want extra damage for doing fire damage, because you do a lot of fire damage, hey, you can have it. Just look how huge this is. It's outstanding. This is why I say no one plays the same. I mean, you can follow a cookie cutter build if you want, but if you want to try to do what I'm doing and just kind of organically make your own build as you play, like, it gets really overwhelming. And this is, I'm not gonna lie, it is overwhelming. But if you take your time and you read things, you will kind of get an idea where you want to go. So I'm gonna just spend this 1 point and see if I can talk about it a little bit. Looks like I ended here. I'm trying to figure out where I am actually. So, again, I'm a noob at this, so bear with me. Let me see. Maybe it might help if I go back and reset. Okay, here we go. So here I am. Okay, I know what I can do here. So I guess this is where I should talk about my build. So as a witch, when I play games like this, especially when I'm new to it, or it's a different style of this type of game, if there's an option for me to play what I call a pet build, which is a build where you use AI as your allies to help you fight, I usually go with that to learn the game, because and this is not disrespect for anyone that plays that kind of stuff. I find that it's a lot easier because a lot of your minions are doing the attacking, killing for you, so it allows you to kind of sit back and observe and dodge stuff and support them. And so that was my strategy going in. And I honestly, I thought I was a god, because I wasn't really struggling until recently, and so that was an eye-opening experience. So as a minion build, my main thing I want to do, and my plan here, was to increase my minions' damage for obvious reasons. Because I rely on them to kill things, I want to make them stronger so they can kill things faster. So this is where I ended my last point. And I think what I was trying to do was come up to this tree. If you read here, it says minions have 10% increased maximum life. So this isn't DPS, but this does help my minions. And again, I'm a minion build, so these kind of nodes, there's some more here, are going to help me become stronger. Well, that's my theory, at least. So I can go up here, or maybe I want to go down here because I want some of this stuff, some elemental damage, or some increased area effect damage, or attack speed, or whatever. The possibilities are endless. The thing about the grid system is you can't skip and just pick something from over here. You have to follow a path. So my last point I put here, so I can go up here because it's linked. Let's cancel that. I can go here if I want to go down this direction here, etc., etc. You kind of see my point. And again, look at the skill tree. It's massive. I'm gonna play this again, try to beat my personal best in hardcore mode, and I know for sure I'm gonna do a better job looking ahead of my passive tree, so I can kind of maybe plan my build a little bit earlier instead of just kind of going with the flow. But for here, let's go ahead and just take this minion life, because my character's still minion based. So I only had 1 point. I can't go on any further. Press square to apply changes, and ta-da! Now my minions officially have 10% increased maximum life. Simple as that. So you see I have no more points there. That's how you create your character, you influence your builds and all that good stuff. Now I want to show an example of me clearing the map, and this will tie into the combat mechanic systems, hopefully, if I can speak right. Let's see here. So I'm literally going back to where I just died. So let's see, I want to check something here. So this is a level 30 map. How did I see? Okay, so if you look in the upper right, it says Imperial Gardens, that's where we're at. Monster level here is level 30, so everything on this map is going to be level 30. It doesn't really change much. It's not like other games. It doesn't scale, excuse me. It doesn't scale to your level. Essentially, you get, if you want to fight higher monsters, you just progress to the next area, and then, it gets bumped up. So the point I'm trying to make here is, the monster level here is 30. On the upper left, you see I'm level 37. In my opinion, I feel like, oh, okay, I'm over leveled. I should be walking through here like a breeze. That was the case until I got my ass smashed. So there's a lot of things I don't know about, and so my point is, especially if you're playing in hardcore mode, you really got to pay attention. I honestly feel like I got my ass whooped because I wasn't paying attention. I was probably trying to multitask, and before I knew it, I was in a bad situation, and I pretty much died. Simple as that. So I'm gonna make sure I pay more attention as I play this in the future. Okay, so what did I want to show? Oh, okay, so here we go. So you have abilities and stuff, you know, square and triangle, blah blah blah. You even have secondary and third abilities here. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but what I do want to talk about is what the abilities and how do you get them, what do you do with them. So these gems here, they're called gems, but I refer them as your abilities. All your abilities that you will use on your character are going to come in the form of these gems. So if you want to have a fireball attack, well, you need a fireball gem. You can buy them at NPCs when you unlock them at a certain level, or you can be lucky and you can get them as a random drop as you're killing things or you're looting corpses. It really adds to the variety because unlike games, and I'll compare it to like Diablo 3, which was the most recent action RPG game I was playing before this. In Diablo 3, almost the same mechanics, except as you level your character up there, it unlocks these predetermined skills that you have available to you, and you just kind of pick which one you want. So it's kind of linear. You know, you can still create different builds if you're playing this character and your friend plays the same character. You can still have variety, but it does lock you in the sense of, okay, you know what you're going to have to use and you just got to make the best do with them. In this game, there's none of that. I'm a witch, but hey, I can put on a shield and a sword and I can use some strength if I want to, as long as I have the stats. So it gets really crazy. So here, if you look here, I have two wands. I want to focus here on the left one. So you see I have three colors. I have a green, I have two blues below it. So pretty much the way the system works is every item you pick up, you will have an RNG element of what colors are on it. And there's items that you can use to kind of re-roll the colors and the links and stuff. So again, it gives you a lot of variety. But essentially how it works is, in order for me to use a skill, I need to insert that skill gem onto my armor, whichever pieces that have the color that's corresponding. And as long as I have the stats for them, that's how I unlock it for myself and how I can use it. So for this example, if I press X, I'm not doing anything because I took that skill gem off. So let's go ahead and use that as an example. I'll open up my inventory. I have this ability called Ball Lightning I was using. So I'm going to choose Ball Lightning, and I can only put it in the blue. So I'm going to put it in the middle socket here, and I'll explain why. So there we go. So I just equipped Ball Lightning, and there you go. Now if I press X, because I just happen to have it equipped there you go. Ta-da! I officially learned and can now use Ball Lightning. Alright, so simple as that. Now, there is a layer of depth like no other, and I was really confused when I first started playing this game, but now that I get it, I'm actually starting to dig it. So you see I still have two colors left, and what I really want to point out is, if you look very carefully, they're linked to each other, meaning that there's this kind of line that connects the top green to the middle blue to the below blue. They come in different variations. Here's one here. They're all linked. This one's linked. This one's linked. They just come in different shapes and sizes. But the cool thing about this, again, I love making characters. I love making builds. You can really mix things up as simple as adding a support gem. So there's certain gems that will give you a direct ability, like that Ball Lightning I had, which is now here. And we have what we call support gems. These happen to be two support gems. This one is a green support gem, so I have to have some dexterity, which I have, luckily from my other gear. This is a magica or magic style support gem, which requires you to have intelligence. So look at the difference here. This one says supports skills that fire projectiles from the user, does not affect projectiles fired from other locations as secondary effects. Okay, whatever. What does that mean? Well, let's show. If I take this and I put it here because it's green, boom. Now that's linked. Now you notice, because that green gem is linked to that blue gem, look what it's going to do to my X attack, which I just used a while ago. I'm shooting 3 now instead of my 1. Alright? That's huge. I mean, that's awesome. It's like a shotgun now. All I did was put a support gem that applied to my skill, and I clicked it on, and boom, there we go. So let's do my secondary gem here. This is my summons phantasm support. Long story short, any skill that this is linked to, when that skill kills an enemy, you have a percentage to summon a phantasm, which is an additional pet. And like I said, I'm trying to be a pet build, get as many pets I can on the screen. So I'm gonna link it right here. So now I have 2 support skills linked into that 1 gem, which is ball lightning. So let's go ahead and I'm not gonna loot anything. I just want to, go through. I'm gonna find some enemies. So here's some bad guys. I'm just gonna spam my X here. Let's see if I can kill them and get a phantasm. Oh, here we go. So you see the 2 green things right there? Those are my enemy AI, and they popped up because, again, my support gem. Now I have 3 of them. So I don't know what the max level is, but look at, just by killing things, I got little friends here. Let's see if they can showcase here. See if they mess this guy up. I'm not doing anything. I'm literally just standing back here and my minions are killing my enemies for me. So that's an example of a support gem there. Now I'm gonna do a quick map clear, just kind of give an idea and talk about the rest of my build. So now that I've killed a few of these, there are some corpses on the ground, and my build relies on corpses because again, I'm a minion build, so I'm gonna raise a zombie. So you can see I'm raising zombies. It eats up the corpses of my slain enemies, and now I got a little army of zombies. So these guys are going to follow me everywhere I go. Now check this out. I have another skill ability that allows me to summon. So I don't need corpses. It allows me to summon skeletons. So let's summon some. Now all these green things down here, this is my posse. I'm literally an army now. And this is how I was playing, progressing to hard mode. So this is just an example build. I'm not following any builds. I'm just kind of going at it organically. The skeletons will wear out after a couple seconds, but it doesn't cost too much to kind of resummon them. So that's part of my gameplay strategy. My square attack. Oh, okay, this square attack, if you see a green circle there, when that hits an enemy, it debuffs them. It slows them down. So my method of thinking is, okay, if my army is fighting the enemies and I debuff them, then hopefully it'll help them kill faster and etc. etc. My circle ability, I didn't really put anything there, so that's still my ball lightning. Let me see. Honestly, that's pretty much it. I can teleport my minions to me, and there's a buff. Let's see if I can show that here real quick. Let's go ahead and see if we can just find something to kill. I'd rather talk about the skills while I'm not in action because it's going to be hard to explain when things are exploding and in real time. So I just want to kill an enemy to get a corpse. The corpse is down there, so I have a buff as well as part of my build where if I eat a corpse or use a corpse, it will give my minions a bonus to attack speed. So let's go ahead and do that. So I have that red icon. If you look really carefully, my zombies are glowing red. That tells me they have the buff on. So my gameplay strategy is keep that on them as much as I can, debuff my enemies, and just wreck shit up. And then my ball lightning is there to kind of back up support. So here in the middle of the screen, I know it's transparent. It kind of shows you the entire map. Let's go ahead and clear this map just to show what it's like. I'm not going to stop for loot. Oh, and triangle is my mobility move. It gives me kind of like a dash and at least fire behind. And if the enemies step on it, they burn, take damage. I don't play these games without mobility attack because mobility is part of my style. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, I just zip out of the way. You can see here, let me summon some skeletons and get some buffs up. So pretty easy. I'm literally just walking and they're following me and they're killing everything. So this guy, this is a boss because he's yellow. Yeah, like I said, I know it doesn't look like much, but honestly, this is the way I felt like when I was playing here a couple minutes ago. And then I believe, yeah, it was the last boss that got me. And so let's see if I can kind of show that. So I'm just following the map here, killing everything in sight. The pros that play this game, the people that have a lot of experience, they know how to make certain builds, they know how to stack certain things so that their killing potential is so fast. The faster you can kill things, the better. It just helps you grind faster, obviously, so I'm not to that level. I'm not even at the cap yet, so you're not going to see that type of crazy gameplay. This is just average Joe noob trying to stay alive, pretty much. So let's see. My strategy, I always like to hug the walls. Just kind of helps me get a layout of the map. So just gotta summon my skeletons again. Sometimes I don't even need my skeletons. My 5 or 6 zombies that I can summon usually do the trick. Alright, so I see that there's some... Okay, so again, I'm such a loot hoarder, I'm so used to picking everything up, but I will resist doing that for the sake of time. So I'm just gonna dash through the map here. See what's going on. Nothing here. Let's just keep going. I just want to get to a certain mechanic of the game here. Let's see. Let's see here. One thing I failed to mention, I should have said this in the beginning, is there's a lot of replayability in this game. Mainly in the fact that I think it's like 3 months, or it varies to be honest, they do these things called leagues. So just like we talked about the standard league, the hardcore league, there's a specific, sorry, I'm trying to focus here. There are specific gameplay mechanics they introduce every couple months. So even if you played this game since launch, you know, typically you probably get bored of it. You know, you're grinding all the time. You have all these badass characters. These leagues are really cool addition because it mixes things up. So if I can get to a certain point, I'll show you what this current league is. This is called the Metamorphis League. I think it just started sometime in December. So here's a strong box. Oh shit! Oh, whoops. So I spawned a lot of bosses. If you see my health, my blue bar, that's my energy bar. So I will pick up just the basic things I do know I need here, even though I'm going against what I just said without not looting, but I will leave that juicy stuff there. So, there we go, some more enemies here. You can tell it gets kind of crazy, so I gotta really pay attention. I'm just letting my minions do the attack here while I watch my screen. I'm just dashing around. Here's some more boss enemies here. They're definitely a lot stronger than your typical enemies here. I'm just gonna stand back, help them with this. So I died fighting something along this line here, and this is all RNG. When you play this game and you leave an area like this for more than like I think it's like 8 minutes, and you come back to it, it's gonna be a different loadout, different enemies, different bosses. So it's never the same, which is really cool. It adds again to that replayability. See if I can dash through here. Alright, we got a boss up there. Let's go ahead and... Oh, don't get away from me. So you see there, I don't want to get near anything at this point. That's how I died. Alright. So we did pretty good there. Still got some enemies. It's kind of difficult at times. You know, there's a lot going on your screen, so having awareness, which is what I learned, is key. I'm going to open up a big map just to kind of get an idea. You can see the map is pretty large. Let's move on up here. And again, that's my build. That's literally what I was using. It was working well. I was demolishing things. I don't think I'm struggling with anything I'm seeing here, but when you fight certain, like, you know, colored enemies, they have certain modifiers that make them, you know, super OP. And this is like a mission thing. I'm not really caring about the quest. I just want to get to... when you clear a certain percentage of the map, let's see where else I can go. Let's go down here. There's an NPC that's specific to this Metamorphis League that will pop up and give you the option to create a boss for you to fight. And why would you do that to begin with? Well, simple. Because you get to dictate the stats of the boss. Therefore, you can influence the type of drops you might get if you beat the boss. So there's a risk and reward system there. Just kind of looking around here. Should have popped up by now, but maybe I still have a lot of the map to explore. So we got some enemy here. Again, just trying to showcase, you know, what my build is, what it looks like, why I picked it. There's so many different ways to play. You don't have to be a Magicka character. Alright, looks like I got level there, which is nice. And even though my character died, I can still play my character. I can still resume my progress. Again, it's just the difference in servers. Let's see here. Looks like I can push up here. Another thing I think I was doing that I need to pay attention to is when you press down on the D-pad, you bring your map up in front, and I like to play this way most of the time, especially when I'm farming, so I can know exactly where to go. But for the purpose of this video, I won't, because it's kind of annoying, I guess, if you're watching. So I'm just relying on the minimap. I'll pop it up every now and then just to get a sense of direction. So yeah, it looks like I have a lot of ways to go up here. Let's see. So this is where I was before, so just kind of abandoning it. These are like traps, trying to just get by without getting spanked here. Geez, I don't think that's really weird. Let me try this area here real quick. I was under the impression that every map has the ability to call that NPC I'm talking about, so maybe I'm wrong. Oh shit, oh, something is coming from this direction. That was not me. So this boss we're fighting now somehow summoned that, so yep, see I'm gonna get out of the way there. That's a pretty badass move, to be honest. That is cool. I wonder if I can get something like that in the future. Oh, let's go ahead and dash away from there. I don't even want to know what that does. Oh, that's actually really cool. So yeah, it gets crazy. Things are never the same, like I said. I'm just gonna guide myself here real quick. Maybe, yeah, here we go. We got some things down south. Oh shit. You see how I dash there? I dash anytime something is, oh my god, except for there when I dash right into it. You can see my resources are seesawing. Once I lose, oh my god, what the hell? Once I lose my blue meter, which is my shield, then my red meter, my health, starts taking damage, and once that hits 0, it's game over. So it does recharge if I don't take damage for a little while, so I gotta kind of hit and run. I feel like we should be getting close. This map is just pretty big. So this is your typical grind life when you play this kind of game. And unfortunately, for some reason, I'm not seeing that NPC, unfortunately, but I'll go ahead and end the video here. But essentially, when that NPC pops up, all the enemies you killed, you get to collect their body parts, and you kind of Frankenstein piece up a boss, and the boss gets summoned. You fight the boss, you win, you get a lot of good loot. That is exactly how I died. I built this boss, I thought I could take him. I was not honestly reading the modifiers, and so I just thought I could mow him down. I think what happened was, just to kind of give an example, so we were fighting, and I had all my minions out, everything looks good, the boss was tanky, and all of a sudden I think I got frozen. I couldn't move. I remember I couldn't move. I was like panicking. I was trying to teleport, mashing my triangle, trying to get away, but I just did not do anything. And I think what happened was I was frozen for a couple seconds, and because I'm a noob and I was just mashing my teleport button, I put myself into an inconvenient location like what I just did there. So maybe I was frozen here, maybe I should have teleported outside here to run away, but because I was panicking and I just happened to push the wrong direction, I put myself in the corner. Once I put myself in the corner, I had at least a dozen or more gold level type monsters just box me in, and I would just run out here like this, trying to teleport out, but then I got frozen again, and all I could do was literally watch my bars go down little by little, and then, yeah, I got owned. So I'm definitely going to do another playthrough. I want to see if I can beat my all-time best. I'm probably going to do a different build. I feel like I got enough of the basics down, so I might abandon the Switch, but I'll keep her there on my playlist just to give myself a reference for my last push. So long video, but I get a lot of people asking me about this, and so I just want to share what I know about it, and hopefully this helps. But it's a fun game. Check it out. I'm going to see if I can get to max cap during this Metamorphis League, and as always, GG.